All right, I'm going to give you 3 tips based off this pyramid of wealth. This is something I wish they had taught me in school, but everything you need to know about money pretty much is right here. There's 5 levels, and I'm going to show you these levels, and then I'm going to show you 3 ways that you can move up the pyramid of wealth. So the first one is debt. This is when you're behind. Most people in the world end up here. I ended up here. But if you pay attention to this video, in just the next few minutes, I'm going to show you that you don't have to stay here. Now, the level right above this isn't that much better either. The level right above this is scarcity. These 2 levels of the pyramid are where most people operate in all areas of their life. They're not feeling good wealth-wise. The average person comes out of college, tremendous amount of debt now. You see this all over the news. And then, of course, happiness. I read somewhere where like 20% of people are now on medication, and 30 to 50% of people are lonely, depressed, have anxiety attacks. And that's these 2 levels. Now, if you look at these financially, obviously debt is when you're zero, below zero. Scarcity, though, there was a Nobel Prize winning economist, Daniel Kahneman, who did research and found that scarcity is under $72,000 a year. You can Google it. There's a famous article. If you feel like you're here, I got good news and bad news. The good news is I've been in these stages, and there's a way out. You can recover. You can rise up. The bad news the billionaire Warren Buffett gave when he said, be careful of getting too far behind. Be careful of procrastinating and letting yourself stay here, because he says sometimes the chains of habit become, they're too weak to be felt until they're too strong to be broken. Meaning sometimes you're here and you're like, well, life's not going that well for me, but I'll recover. But he said they're like chains. You don't feel them at first. They're like addictions and habits, procrastination, not knowing how to motivate yourself, not really pushing yourself to your maximum potential. He said the next thing you know, those chains lock up and you can hardly get them off. And you see that financially. Sometimes you get too much in debt. You get too far behind. So pay attention today. Life is always at a crossroads. I hope today will be a crossroads. You'll look back at some point in your life and say, I had enough pain. Now's the time to move above these. And what's above these is the 3rd level in the pyramid. And this is what I call healthy stage. This is where you wake up, you feel good. You're not necessarily a millionaire, but you feel the momentum starting to go in your direction. All right? You got to get here at the minimum. And then above this, there's prosperity. Prosperity is the level that not only are you doing well, you're feeling good, but you're getting ahead. Like in your bank account. Here is where you're paying all the bills. You don't have too much stress every day. The first of the month comes around. You're covered. You're good. You're healthy. Prosperity is when not only you're doing that, but you're starting to get ahead. Bank account's starting to go up. And the last level here is what I call wealth and impact. And this is where you change the world. You see this with famous philanthropists and Bill Gates starting the Bill Gates Foundation and all that. At some point, you get so far ahead that you can have impact on the world. You can really change the world. And I'll tell you, my life at one point was a nightmare. And the reason that I always keep this in my mind is I remember when I was here and here. And I'll just tell you, I think today could be a big day for you. You know, you're one of the few people that's getting to watch this video. This is the stuff that they should have taught us when we were in school. But they didn't. And there's lots of reasons the system failed us. And it failed you. And at one point in my life, I tried lots of different things. And I lost everything, basically. And I was sleeping on a couch. And I had $47 in my bank account. I was in Clayton, North Carolina, in a mobile home. And I remember laying on that couch and thinking, like, is that it? And the good news, at that point, of course, I had basically no money. I was right here. Unfortunately, I had to come to that place, and maybe you had that before, where you got to get some real pain around your life before you act. But I started, thank God, I took action. And I'm going to show you the 3 things now that I learned and the 3 things that I took action on that completely transformed my life and helped me start moving up. Number 1, you have to know your life's purpose. Begin to examine how well you know your life's purpose. You should be able to say it very quickly. Just a little note, it's not the same for everybody. And one of the things the school system lies to us about is just saying everybody's life's purpose is go to college, get a 9-to-5 job, get a house with 2 kids in the suburbs. And there's nothing wrong with those things, but it's not for everybody. And the better you can be at finding your specific, unique life purpose, the quicker you'll move up that pyramid of success and wealth. The second thing here is you have to know how to win friends and influence people. That was a famous book title. But it's true. One of the skills I wish I had learned growing up that they forgot to teach us is you have to have powerful social skills. You have to know how to find mentors. If you're starting a business, maybe you need to know how to find business partners, how to find investors. Number 3, and again, something that you and I didn't learn growing up, what they should have taught us, what the system failed us on teaching us, was I began to understand what motivated me, how to overcome procrastination. And I'll tell you what, these things right here, I call procrastination the killer of hopes and dreams. If you've got big plans for your life and it's not working out like it wasn't working out for me, it usually comes here. Because what happens is you think, I'm going to work really hard, but then you can't motivate, then you put it off for another day and you begin to procrastinate. Well, what I began to learn to do was how to do half the work but get twice as much done. Work smarter, because believe it or not, to move up that pyramid of success and wealth, it's not just about working harder, it's about working smarter. The hardest workers you'll ever meet aren't necessarily the people that are getting ahead. So you have to combine those 2 things. So as I began to put all 3 of these, 1, 2, 3, my life began to transform. I became an entrepreneur, started a business here, a business there, and next thing you know, my income started to go up. I remember when my income was at basically 0 or less than 0. I was going into debt. And people say money's not important. Well, it's not the most important thing in the world. There's other things more important than money. But if you don't have any money, you'll never feel free. And if you are watching this and you're resonating, you're like, yeah, I understand that. I feel like I'm behind right now. Or maybe you feel like you're doing well, but you've plateaued and you're not going up as quickly as you should. I want you to know that my team and I have created something really special for you. You can start learning in minutes from the comfort and privacy of your own home. All you really need is a phone or a laptop. Click the button below and you'll see.